my name is Sue Kessler. I am an actress, writer, and life coach, and I suggest that you guys check out Keith Andrew. His show is awesome. He's breaking through those boundaries and labels, and you should check it out.
Gentlemen, I am your host, Keith Andrew, and you're watching the one and only KeithAndrewNetWork. Today, I'm here with the talented and beautiful Sue Kessler, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thanks for having me.
No, the honor's all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. It's to prove to them and step out something. So hashtag break the labels. So that being said, PT13, you can say anything you want. Talk about whatever you want. This is your time. I want you to feel comfortable. You're supporting a good cause, making a new friend out of it. And a couple of questions I was going to ask you is you are a professional actress, professional writer, and I do have a couple ideas for you on that. And,
okay.
And also you're a life coach. So
yes.
The very first thing, I'm going to ask you the easy ones first, then we can go to the hard-hitting ones.
Okay.
So how was life growing up? And when you were in high school and college, did you do any sports?
That's a great question. Life growing up was very interesting. I was the youngest of 7 children, but I was 8 years removed. So when I was an early age, I had all the siblings in the house, but I was like, I guess 10 till through high school, I was pretty much alone in the house. So it was like I was an only child then. But it was full of lots of art and laughter, lots of creativity. My mom pushed that. So I was always dressing up in costume, and I used to watch TV standing on my head just because it was different. And I would do puppet shows with kind of funny adult relationship themes, even though I was only 6 or 7, and how did I know about that? So pretty fun childhood. So I guess that's the comedy approach that I have in me. And in high school, yes, I played softball. I played 3 sports. I played field hockey, basketball, and softball. And I went to college. I went to Rutgers University originally, and finished my career as a Division I college athlete and played softball, and then actually became a college softball coach and put myself through grad school that way. So I was a big-time athlete.
Nice.
But but the athletics, I think, got in the way of the acting. I was able to play music. I played classical bass, so I did that in the orchestra, but I never really got a chance to do acting. I took drama classes and I did acting, but I couldn't do any of the performances because it was the exact same time as sport, which is kind of tough because I think a lot of people struggled with that. You know, you had to choose, and I chose sports, so no regrets. But,
no, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt. I do apologize.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
And it's kind of funny to mention those couple of things, because one thing I do want to, I'm so excited because there's so many things I want to tell you right now. But the first thing I'm going to tell you is you mentioned sports versus acting. That's going to be my next question in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But the last easy one I'm going to ask you is, a lot of people make fun of me for this. I'm a loser. But did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
Like leadership training when I was in high school. Yeah, I've done one of those human pyramids. It's kind of one of the like low ropes course kind of challenging things to see if your team can do it. Yeah, I've done a human pyramid.
I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
No, you're not. Don't say that. The life coach in me wants you to stop saying that to yourself.
Well, if I can hire you, be my life coach, so I appreciate that.
All right, we can talk about that after the video.
But if you're up for it, maybe you can help me set a record one day.
Oh, yeah, possibly.
And never say never. And I'm not using that for like a pickup line or anything.
Yeah, all right. I appreciate that.
Like I said, I'm funny, I'm sweet, I'm caring, I'm a bad fart. I'm my own worst enemy.
I can relate. I can relate to that, actually.
And as you mentioned that you were the youngest out of 7, I pointed at myself saying I'm the youngest out of 6.
Oh, wow. Yeah, great. Big family, huh?
I do. Sometimes we get along, sometimes they just pretend I'm not here. You know how it is.
Absolutely. It's the bane of being the youngest.
It's true. I was the pain in the ass of the family because I always got what I wanted.
Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily I always got what I wanted. It's true. But I was just the pain in the ass of the family because I'm just a pain in the ass. So, I mean.
That too.
Yeah.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you, it's sports. And so I'm going to ask you, you mentioned that you are a professional sportist. You did all these sports, but they also interfered with your acting. So what I was going to ask you is, what sport did you want to focus on, but at the same time, well, like I said, this is a double parter. So the first one is because you mentioned, let's talk about the conflict first off, because you said these two always conflict. So what in your heart did you want to do? Did you want to be an actor or did you want to do sports? And what sport did you want to proceed first before of acting?
Okay, so that is a really great question. And I think I went to sports because I was very good at sports. And like with my father, he was a big ball player. I started off doing some golf, but I wasn't really interested in it. I also loved tennis, but no one really understood it except for me, so I kind of just didn't do it much, only in camp. But my dad was a baseball player, so I played softball. And I think I kind of pushed away from the performance aspect when I was younger because I got bullied a lot for being weird or different or kind of like wow, she's loud and that's really weird. Like just because I was theatrical and although I did then in high school find my niche of friends and we did a lot of other outlets, like doing some skits and some sketch comedy stuff. But I think I ultimately was so engulfed in the athletics because I was good enough to get a college scholarship. And so, the whole idea of when you're good enough to get your college paid for, that kind of is the forefront of your mind. So I kind of just took that part of my life and I kind of just went, I'll put that in a nice little neat box, through my 20s. And then probably when I was 28, I stopped and I was college coach. I was living down in Florida. I just finished grad school. I went back to being a teacher. I was a teacher for about over 15, 16 years, as well as a school administrator. And I was I missed that part of my life. And so through teaching, I would just be a performer and I would tell stories, kind of like the writer in me. And for years, from the age of 28 to 36, I just had these stories. And so I just would be putting them in my brain, but I never really knew what to do and how to start it. Because I would start it and then I'd rip it up because I think it was not good and I'd throw it away. So I probably wrote chapter 1 of my book that I have on edit right now about, I would say, 150 times over 8 years. And so I just doubted because of all the, you're weird, that's different, why do you do that, why can't you be normal, all that. And, me being a pretty bold person, I just kind of put it aside, didn't realize how much it just shut down that side of my life. But, never too late. And so now at 36, I started to write. I had a really bad day at school, school administrator, and I went home, poured a whiskey, lit a cigar, took my dogs on a walk down the street, which was like in the beautiful woods, and out of nowhere, like stories just started like pouring out of my brain. And then when those stories stopped, screenplays started coming out, and then I started doing more acting and just improv, and improv kind of broke me out of that shell of, because I did a lot with my sister when I was younger, and I missed it. And so now I took the plunge. I'm taking all my time to pursue acting and writing, and it's awesome, So that was the one thing, is that the softball, really, I was really good at it. I even owned a business where I taught kids how to pitch and hit. And I learned from the best in the country, and I've coached with the best in the country. So it's hard when you're really good at something. And I was passionate about it, but right now I don't care about softball, honestly. I don't really want to play. So, how your life takes that shift. So I think that's part one of your question. So yeah, it took over, but I think I needed my life's experiences so that where I am now is where I am now. And I'm okay with that, because I don't have a time machine. I can't go back. So I don't want to dwell on that,
No, absolutely. Now, the other part I was going to ask you is, what were some of your favorite acting skits you ever did? And who influenced you to become an actor?
Okay, that's great. Some of my favorite skits that I did was my sister June actually was the one who helped me to the performance aspect of all that. And I don't think it was just a little bit, but we always would just do skits, and we would play a game where we would just write a word on a paper or a phrase on a paper, and then we would have to, it's kind of like charades, but you got to like use sounds and act it out, and it was just always so much fun. And then when I was in high school, I belonged to this youth group at a church, and I had this skit. I don't remember. I think I learned it at the church. It's called Snake Bite, and it's an improv skit where you pick a theme, and the theme was that this little girl got bitten by a snake. She ran into the house with her mom. Mommy, I got bit by a snake. The mother's like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And the mother forgets that she hired a plumber, and so when she calls 911 and the door knocks and there's someone at the door, she thinks it's the doctor, but it's actually the plumber. And then you go cut, and there's this crazy director that's doing like an improv direction where it's like, that was too fast, you got to slow it down. And then all the actors on stage do it like slow-mo. And then all the actors on stage do it in like Shakespeare. So it's this form of like improv, and it's called Snake Bite. That's my favorite skit. And I learned that at church, like youth group at church, when I was in high school. So, yeah, but definitely my sister Junie. But then I think just something inside me when I was in my mid-30s was like, this is what's missing. And I think it was what I used to do, all the performing and making people laugh and, being just the ridiculous. And that's just I just felt like I wanted to do it on stage, or I wanted to do it on TV or on film. And so, yeah.
What about, have you ever gotten a chance to work with anyone famous or meet anyone famous?
Not yet. I have a couple friends that they do pretty well in the industry. I'm not going to name drop, but so I had to turn down an opportunity to read for a part of a film that filmed with some big time people in Rhode Island, because I was in Spain. I traveled, I was in Spain, so that kind of stunk. But I haven't really taken full time until the last couple months because of school. I was still an assistant principal at a middle school. So I would take roles and do things when I could that didn't really interfere with that. So not yet. No, not that I can recall. Yeah.
Now, the next one I was going to ask you is, and you mentioned you were a writer. And then you mentioned during your conflict of being you want to work in sports and you'll be an actor, and then you mentioned you went on a walk and you had all these stories.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in ghostwriting, and what were some of your favorite things you ever written?
Okay, that's great. I would I would be interested in ghostwriting, if it's the right story. Absolutely. And my favorite thing I've ever written is a current book that I have back from an editor, called Filbert the Featherless Duck and His Tremendous Trousers. It's this story of a little duck born without feathers and how he came through the adversity of being different and the struggles that a duck would have without feathers, flying and swimming and all that stuff. And, meets up with this awesome little mouse. And so that's my favorite thing I've ever written. I've also written some comedy sketch stuff that I kind of enjoy. Going to be ready to kind of film some of that soon, so it's like tied between screenplay and books. But I think writing, I just love. If I don't feel like I love it, I don't really want to finish it. So I feel like everything that I've written just kind of inspires me in a special, different way. And I use screenwriting as a break for my writer's block on the book. So if I'm struggling with like the story and what's Molly and Filbert going to do next, and so then I was like, I'll put that aside, and then I start thinking of other screen ideas, and I do film stuff then. So yeah, I think Filbert's my favorite, and ghostwriting would be interesting. I have so much I have to do my own. Like I have to finish these two, and then once those are done, then possibly, yeah.
Well, the first thing I'm going to ask you is you mentioned a duck and a mouse, so the first thing that popped in my mouth, the first thing that popped in my head was Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And would you be interested in writing and helping me or co-write my book?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, once I'm through this next round of edits and I send it back to my editor, yeah, I would. We'll talk about it. We'll see. But yeah. Right. I just don't want to take on too many things, but if I have the time, possibly.
Oh, absolutely. Now, the last one I'm going to talk to you, then we can take a muscle break. As you mentioned, you were a life coach. At what point in your life did you decide you want to be a life coach?
I just got certified this last winter. And it was because I was transitioning out of being a full-time school administrator to kind of doing my own thing with my writing and my acting. And one of the books I'm writing is actually kind of like a self-help, like a comedic approach to self-help of like positive self-outlooks and things like that, and changing mindsets, and talks about laws of attraction. So in order to feel more confident writing, because I had that information, I got the certification as a life coach, which kind of just justified a lot of the stuff I was writing. But also, while I was a school administrator, I was a coach. Like a lot of what I did, was talking about teaching and learning with teachers, but it was also about, coping with understanding other people or understanding kids, and what do we do when this occurs. And so I felt like, this past winter is when I got certified, because it just was drawn to it.
No, yeah. Absolutely. And what tips could you give us so we can have an example? What use me for an example?
Okay, well, so number one is always be grateful for what you do have. And for you, I would say, don't ever call yourself an idiot, or don't ever say that that was dumb what I just did, because what happens is your brain, your subconscious mind listens.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a vast computer full of information, and whatever you tell it, it will look through the catalogs of information to give everything it can to reinforce what you just told it. So you don't realize, but what you're doing is you're just perpetuating and supporting that. So the best thing to do is to just, everybody makes mistakes and everybody makes decisions that they wish they didn't, and just to be reflective, but don't self-down talk. Because all you would be doing is it's addictive. In your brains, it's, that kind of feeling releases the same thing as excitement in your brain. And so that would be my best suggestion is, be really careful of how you talk to yourself and about yourself. Because if anyone's going to love yourself the most, it's going to be you, So that would be my suggestion.
I agree with you. And, a lot of people make fun of me because I like befriending people. So, I like talking to kids, I like befriending kids, or I talk to people in high school and college, or when I'm a cashier, so if I see someone who I like, I ask for like a fist bump, I just like befriending people, and it makes me feel better about myself.
Okay.
And I know that's it's weird because you're a 31-year-old and you're talking to, like a 12-year-old, or you're talking to like a 17-year-old, or it's like, but it
is what it is, because it's only weird because who's saying it's weird? It's just society wanting you to fit in their little boxes. And they always have that saying, think outside the box.
Yeah.
I don't believe there is a box. I want to know who created this box that everyone's supposed to, think outside of. How about you just don't have a box at all? And you just be you. And if friendly and kind and caring is who you are, Keith, then you just be friendly, kind, and caring.
No,
and,
absolutely.
It's just teachers do the same thing. Teachers are always ones to say hi and smile and connect with all different kinds of people. So, you're just one of those kind people, and that's okay.
No, I agree with you. And if I look at it like this, it's like, I'm not asking for sex. I'm not asking for money. We're not talking about drugs. I'm not asking for a handout. All I ask is, like the same thing for you when I invited you to be on the show. You're supporting a good cause and you're making a new friend of it. The reason I talk to people I like is none of those things, and you're just making a new friend out of it. And everyone gets defensive. Like, whoa, it's weird. You're a grown-ass man and you're trying to be friends with these people. And they're like, oh, make friends with your own people your age. Well, I would if they weren't assholes.
Yeah. Well, my other life coaching suggestion is that anytime anybody says anything, don't ever take it personally, because it really doesn't have anything to do with you.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with them, and something that happened sparked them to make a comment. So you really wonder where that guy, he's coming from by saying that, So I would just never take those things personally at all. They really don't have anything to do with you. That has to do with that guy and something that he has issue with. So you just keep being yourself, Keith. All right?
Absolutely. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break. And with the last 10 minutes, I'm going to pass it over to you, and then you can ask me anything you want.
Hi, I'm Marissa Joy Davis.
This is Michelle Wong.
And I'm Nancy Rose.
My name is Brandy Hunt. And
hello, my name is Raven Wynn.
Hi there. My name is Giovanna Vidal.
Hi, I'm Monica Thomas.
Hi, I'm Paisley Blackburn.
I'm Ashley Burgess.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Abney.
Hi, I'm Sharon Spank.
Hey, this is Samantha Moore.
Hi, I'm Melody Jones.
Hi, my name is Becky Yee.
Hi, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Keith Andrew. Along here is the talented and beautiful Sue Kessler. And I just want to say thank you for sticking with us. It was the last 11 minutes and counting. The last thing I do want to talk to you about, then I'll pass the show over to you, is social media. But the first thing I do want to promote real fast is make sure to our fans out there to like the Keith Andrew Network on YouTube.com. That's right, KeithAndrewNetwork.com on YouTube.com. Same exact name on Instagram and YouTube, and actually just YouTube. So YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter is KeithAndrew88. So our names will be in the description underneath, so they can follow us on Instagram. And also, and for the people who want to know what I was drinking, it's root beer. Get yours today wherever root beer is available. I'm also on CelebVM. And I'm also want to plug that to you. It's have you heard of CelebVM?
No, I have not.
CelebVM, it's where you can interact with your fans. So, for an example, if I came to you and say, "Hey, I'm a big fan. Can I get a shout out? It's a birthday wish. Can I get a recommendation?" It's pretty much you charge $20, and they pay you, and you get to interact with the fans and do like a fan of a video. So I'm also a part of that, and I think you should definitely check that out too. It's really good. And I bet you have a bigger fan base than I do, and plus to get money on the side too.
Yeah, maybe.
But just wanted to do a little plug there. Also, I do have a lot of questions for you off the air. But the first thing I do want to talk to you, passing the show over to you, is social media. Can social media make you or break you with every single thing that you accomplish, from being an actor, being a life coach, being a writer, or even doing sports? Do you feel that having a fan base, I learned this the hard way, you should have a fan base, number one, before you do anything? Do you think a fan base is very important to you, or do you think it's the message? I'll give you an example, if I may. When I first started my talk show, I didn't have a fan base. No one knew me for a hole in the wall. They kind of still don't know me for a hole in the wall. But I had a good message about showing people with disabilities, look at what I can accomplish. And I've been doing a lot for 6.5 years. But I wasn't getting that niche. But with everything you accomplished, from acting, writing, life coach, what do you feel about social media? And has it helped you, or has it stood in your way?
Right. I've used social media to promote film, some of the films I've done. And also some of the film festivals my films have been in. So that's kind of beneficial, because then more people get to see it or want to know. Like my trailer for my last film, I got a lot of, when is it coming out? Pretty good amount of views on that. So it was very helpful for production like that. Social media is kind of, up and down. I had it where Facebook was not my friend, and I had to create everything private because I wasn't full-fledged actor-writer. And I've also had it where I got really great feedback and, lots of, just sharing my information with friends. But the one thing is, I think as an artist, I really need to focus. My focus needs to be on my art, and to continue to grow and to get better and to hone my craft, and not to be sucked into Facebook or Instagram or feeling that. I think it's a little different between you and me, because what you do is you are a talk show, so you need to get that out. And I can see it's really important. For me right now, it's somewhat important. Out of nowhere, my Facebook kind of blew up with a lot of actors and writers and film directors. So that I feel was really important for networking, because I've met some great directors, some director of photography, some headshot artists, other actors, did some really great collabs. So that's really beneficial. But there's that fine line of, being careful and not getting that taking over what you need to do, So it's pros and cons, I guess, of everything.
Well, let me ask you this. You mentioned you were a former educator, because you were a teacher, right?
I was a teacher and assistant principal.
Well, let me ask you, how did social media affect that?
I had to be completely private. It was like I used Facebook just to keep in touch with my friends, and I have a bunch of friends that are all over the place. And so it's, I'm not going to pick up the phone and call my friend in Israel, but keeping in touch on Facebook was great.
You can FaceTime.
Yeah. And then so I had to kind of keep it. I didn't want all my students to follow my acting. And then, I played some roles where I carry guns. I've been detectives. I've been one where I kick the crap out of werewolves. And so they're like, oh, I was drinking wine in one, and my boss was like, oh, it was not okay with you drinking wine. And I was like, it was a combination of coffee and like cranberry juice. It was gross. It was not wine. And so the understanding of reality and me being a fictional character on a show blended. And so people saw me as the Glock-toting, detective busting gun deals, or, the werewolf killing kind of, violent person where I'm not, I don't own a gun, you know what I mean? So the reality of me and the reality of my characters became like this blended. So I had to really kind of curb that because people don't get it that you're playing a character. It's not me, I'm this other human at that point, So social media skews that.
I agree with you. And, I'm never going to ever going to work with this company ever again because I'm on the blacklist. When I was hired as Sex, Sex asked me on the application, do you have social media? And I lied. I said, no. And I said, because I was just starting my talk show, I said, I'm not giving up my freaking talk show to work in a damn retail store.
Yeah.
If the truth does come out, we saw your talk show, we can't have it here. But that's on you. I don't want to work for you guys. I didn't want to work
weird.
Basically, the long story about working at the job was I was set up to fail. And I can tell you that on the Q&A. But, I was set up to fail. And anytime working in retail, kind of, and like I said, interactions, because you're a principal and you're doing an acting thing, if you have to make a choice, I want to do this to the day I die. You have to kill me first. Because I want to do this. This is what I'm passionate about. Working in retail, no, that's not for me.
Yeah. Well, good for you for standing strong on that. Yeah, there was someone that was like telling my boss things that but I wasn't even doing. They were like skewing and giving like bits and pieces. It was just weird. I was just, so for a while I actually just cut off of social media, closed everything, didn't tell anybody. And some people were like, why did you ghost? Where'd you go? And I was just like, well, I just had to. I had to just cut it off. And, people who are close to me and I've had phone calls with, they understood, I shut everything down for about half a year. Yeah, just because it was like too many people getting into my private business, which was just me acting, me playing parts, me playing roles of,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, like if I would play a drug addict.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I'm an actor playing a drug addict. I'm not a drug addict, but it's just strange reality twist.
I wouldn't be surprised somewhere you have an RP following you. And I was stupid back a couple years ago because I thought RP, real person. No. RP is now role player. So I bet there is someone role playing as you if you look hard enough.
Yeah, possibly. Strange, weird. So
yeah, I don't know why you want to pretend to be someone you're not.
Yeah, that's a whole like Pandora's box of crazy. Like I don't know.
Can't fix stupid, right?
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, good luck trying. But.
Well, you can't fix stupid, but you can numb it with a 2x4.
Oh boy.
Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to pass it over to you. It's the last minute and counted. This is your time, and if there's any other questions, make sure. My new thing I'm going to do for our viewers is when we have time, we're going to do a Q&A live on Instagram, so you get to interact with both of us. This is pre-recorded, but when we do the Q&A, that's in real time. So did you want to ask the questions now, or did you want to wait?
Whatever's good for you. If you wanted to have it on your show, or we could do it again. Yeah, I'm game for either.
All right. Well, we'll save it for the Q&As to make it interesting.
Sure.
Wrapping the show up, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, how can people follow you? Are you on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram?
Yep. I have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and it's Sue Kessler, Sue_Kessler at Instagram. So it's at Sue_Kessler. It's at New Wind Prod, which is New Wind Productions, which is my production company. It's an artist collaborative where we all get together and we help create our stuff. Facebook, it's Sue Kessler. I used to be private, but now it's pretty open. And I also have newwindproductions.com, which is my website to my film producing company. So there's a couple different places you can find me out there. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Now wrapping up, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first honest reaction? And after being a guest, how do you feel now, and would you recommend it to other people?
Okay. So when you first reached out for me, I was like, oh, what is this? Because it was actually during a time where I woke up and my Facebook feed just like blew up, like 1,000 friend requests in like a day. I was like, what? Is there like a meteor coming for the earth? And then, you reached out, and so I checked it out, looked at it, I thought it was awesome. I think I commend you for your strength and your, wherewithal and your fortuitousness to just keep on pushing on. And so I was excited. I was like, when am I going to do this? Because it was really busy. My summers were really, really busy. So I know we went back and forth, and I then don't know how to scan a document and send it backwards. And so then we finally fixed that. And so now doing it, I think it's great. I'm glad I supported. I've had, being a teacher and an administrator, I've had students that you remind me of. And I think you're an inspiration for all of those students to break those labels and to break those boundaries. And I think that you're doing an upstanding job. I think keep it up. And your humor is great, and I had a really good time.
No, absolutely. Now stay tuned. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But wrapping up, it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Awesome. Thanks, Keith.